So then, we've lost Leclerc, we've now lost Bottas in the pit stop phase. Verstappen is marching to a pretty controlled Monaco win. And it's going to be a great result now for Carlos Sainz. Qualified 4th, started 3rd, and now he's in 2nd with Bottas out the way. And actually Sainz was looking really racy in the other Ferrari behind Bottas in the first stint anyway, putting big pressure on him. And Lando Norris, brilliant drive from him in the McLaren, gets up to 3rd and stays there for the rest of the race. But behind that, there's big changes and a lot of anguish on some pit walls. So what we're looking at here is this phase for the top 7 drivers. You can see behind there's drivers that didn't start in the top 10 and they're doing different strategies. Lance Stroll with a mammoth 58 lap run on the hard tyre to start got him a great result. But the top 7 are all doing the same thing. They're all starting on the soft tyres and all going to a hard tyre to finish, apart from Hamilton, who did the fastest lap. The question is, pre-race, how far up can Hamilton get? From 7th, which became 6th, where can he get? Can he get a podium out of this? Can he get towards the podium? And the answer was just a flat no. It was a really poor race for Mercedes, really, out of position. And you can see Lewis Hamilton here does the earliest pit stop, lap 29. He comes in from 6th position. And this is all about trying to undercut Pierre Gasly. But they get it wrong, Mercedes. They pit. Gasly pits lap 30, and he's covered off Hamilton. Hamilton wasn't close enough at the time of the pit stop. He was just over a second behind. He put on hard tyres, which are difficult to warm up, and Mercedes already has some inherent issues with warm up as well. And basically, Gasly's in-lap was better than Hamilton's out-lap on the hard tyre. And he managed to come out still ahead and defend the position for the next lap. But with Gasly then having his mirrors full of Hamilton, both being on the hard tyre that was not warming up very well, Hamilton's now stuck behind the AlphaTauri. Gasly, Sebastian Vettel comes from nowhere, pits the next lap on lap 31, and he comes out side by side with Gasly. It was a brilliant bit of wheel-to-wheel action. Huge bravery from both up Beau Rivage. But Vettel really compounds the issue for Mercedes. They pitted to try and gain just 1 place in the whole Grand Prix, but they've actually lost 1 place because Vettel, whilst Hamilton's been blocked by Gasly, Vettel's managed to overcut them and come out ahead. The key in Monaco strategy is to have clear air. That's absolutely essential, particularly if you're in a car that's out of position. If you're Lewis Hamilton in a Mercedes that's got more pace, surely, than Pierre Gasly, you've got to get some clear air at some point. That's the way you're going to be able to put in the laps that your car can actually do, rather than just be stuck behind a car that's slower with very limited chance to overtake. But Mercedes in pitting early, they basically had a one-shot saloon at taking 1 position and finishing 5th. Would have been 4th because Bottas retired, but at the time it was for 5th. Then the reason for that is that Norris would have just covered off Hamilton, Sainz would have covered off Hamilton, and everyone else could cover off Hamilton if Gasly fails to do so the next lap. But Gasly didn't even fail to do so. So for Mercedes, they'd not even gained that 1 position, but now they're snookered. Look, everyone else on that white hard tyre is just going to the end. You've got to do it on track. You've got nothing left to play with in terms of strategy. So if you're in a fast car and you've pitted and it's not worked, by lap 29, Hamilton's race is effectively done. Now, there was one other driver that really showed Mercedes how it should have been done, and that was Sergio Perez, going all the way to lap 35, another 6 laps longer than Hamilton. So Perez started 9th, 8th by the time Leclerc didn't make the start. He's behind Vettel, Hamilton and Gasly for the whole first stint. Hamilton wouldn't even been aware of where Perez was. Vettel was not that close behind Hamilton at the time. Perez was behind Vettel. He was an irrelevance to Lewis Hamilton at this stage of the race. But what Perez did was also what Hamilton was doing, just holding back, not looking like they were really aggressive, fast, putting any pressure on the car ahead, but they were just saving their tyres. And Hamilton said this on the radio as well. Why did you stop me early? I was saving the tyres. That was clear. From the way that Bottas was pushing the back of Verstappen for the lead, Bottas was about 1 second away, whereas Hamilton was normally between 2 and 3 seconds off Gasly, just holding a little bit back, staying out of the dirty air, and doing his own thing to save the tyres. Perez, after a couple of early laps on the back of Vettel, did the same, and it paid off very well for him. Whilst Hamilton started the chain reaction, everyone else swarmed into the pits. Perez just basically had the way paved for him, and put in some really good laps and came out in 4th with the freshest tyres to the end of the race as well, which helped him put a bit of a late charge and put some pressure on Lando Norris, which didn't pay off. But we've had some great strategies for Mercedes this year. Bahrain, they won the race with it. Barcelona, they won the race with it, both with Lewis Hamilton, and he's praised them. But this time I think Red Bull would have taken a bit of satisfaction from Hamilton going backwards in the race, even though he was already starting out of position. And further back, there was a similar scenario as well for Antonio Giovinazzi in the fringes of the points. Giovinazzi in 10th, Ocon ending up 9th, and Ocon basically overcut Giovinazzi. And it's a shame for Giovinazzi because he put in this sensational move on Ocon on the opening lap, both on the soft tyre. Giovinazzi qualified in the top 10 and was looking really good. He had such a great weekend. And this move here is sensational around the outside of Ocon at Mirabeau. I don't know if I've ever seen a move like this on the first lap. Full commitment around the outside, and made it stick on the exit as well. We didn't see a lot of overtakes in the Monaco race, but that one on the first lap was good commitment from Giovinazzi, and it should have been an important position. But Alfa Romeo pitted him a little bit early, 4 laps earlier than Esteban Ocon, and like those guys in the top 7, pitting onto the hard tyre. It meant, again, bad warm-up, and Ocon, with 4 more laps at the end of a soft tyre, was able to overcut him and come out ahead. And Ocon pitted onto the medium tyre, which meant that he was running out at the end, but Giovinazzi couldn't come back through, despite making that brilliant lap 1 pass. So that was a look into the all-important strategy at Monaco, but there were more talking points through the weekend as well. Charles Leclerc on pole, but he couldn't start there. And Valtteri Bottas as well. Tricky race and a pit stop drama that ruled him out, as well as some good drives further back. Check it out on F1 TV.